back to the channel. So I want to do a comparison between the Seiko Marine Master 300 automatic, SLA 021, and the Breitling Super Ocean 42. I'm not sure of the model number at the moment. But I want to do a comparison because the lume on these are incredible on both watches. And I thought Seiko always had the best lume, especially at this price point, but I think this Breitling is a great contender. It almost blows it out of the water. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna lume these up in a little while, but let's go over some things. So the dimensions, this is a 42 on the Breitling. This is a 44 on the Seiko. 50 tip to tip on both watches. So that's pretty comparable. Now where it really leaves you here is 13 millimeters here on the thickness of the Breitling, and I believe the thickness on the Seiko, God, I'd have to measure it, but I think it's around 15, right around there, maybe a little taller than 15, and it has a lot to do with how tall that bezel is. Okay, the brushwork. Let's get that out of the way. The brushwork. Oh my God, Seiko is leaps and bounds better than the Breitling when it comes to the brushing. See the top of the lug there? The brushing and then the polishing. This is Zaratsu polishing. Let me kind of wipe off some of those smudges. But this is Zaratsu polishing. So if you look, you've got that thin brush line on the side of the case and then polished on top and bottom. And that polishing is just amazing. I mean, you're not going to get any better than that. That's better than probably Rolex, better than a lot of brands do it. I don't think you can touch Seiko at that price point. You really can't. And if you look at the Breitling, nice polish work, you know, standard polishing. See that? Pretty nice mirror finish, but the brushwork really lacks, in my opinion. Really lacks. Nice bracelet though. I think the Fighter 3 bracelet is really nice, or Professional 3 bracelet, I think is what they call it. That's real nice. Nice clasp, screw and links. You're not gonna get, you know, anything better than that. I mean, this is a nice bracelet. Nice dial, beautiful lume plots. Gunmetal surrounds on this one. Chronometer certified, Swiss made. 120 click bezel. Kind of loud, but lines up, precise. You know, done pretty well. Nice size crown, nice crown guards. The Seiko 120 click bezel. More refined. You hear that? Kind of nice, really. Satisfying. Doesn't line up exactly. It's a Seiko. Go over a little bit. So there's the click right on that mark. So we're just skewed a hair to the left. But shit, it's a Seiko, guys. That's what Seiko does. They don't always get it right when it comes to their damn alignments on their bezels. So anyway, but everything else, this watch excels. In-house movement, 50-hour power reserve, 8L35. Breitling is using a 2824 non-in-house. Timekeeping is great on both of them. Breitling heavily modifies their ETA movements, and you could tell. I mean, it's very accurate. The Seiko, very accurate as well. And I didn't think it would be because their deviation is like, I don't know, -10, +15, or I don't know, whatever it is. I don't know what it is offhand right now, but it gets way better now. It's like +3 a day or so, +2, right around there. And the Breitling's getting about the same. Giant clasp on this thing. Very thick, but it has that wetsuit extension. It has this on the fly, which I didn't think I'd like, but I do. I really do. Non-screwed in links, just pin and collar. But you know what? Patek Philippe's have pin and collar, and You know, there's some other high ends that do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I really don't. The watch snob in me, you know, with, oh man, screwed in links. It's nice to have. It's easy. It's so much easier to adjust a bracelet when it's a screw in link like this one. But if you lose that link, or the watch comes apart and you lose your watch, you're in trouble. This thing, these pins are not going to come out. Okay, so I think in a lot of ways, it's better to have these pins. It is, because you're not going to lose the watch, or, you know, whatever. You're not going to have any issues, no accidents. But this dial, applied markers, beautiful hands, made in Japan. I love the border on that date, and I love that silver date wheel. Now this doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have a border on the Breitling, and it should have had like a gunmetal. You see these surrounds have like a gunmetal surround. It should have had that on the date wheel, or not on the date wheel, but the border. In my opinion, it really should have. It would have looked better. So, no crown guards on the Seiko, which is kind of in keeping with a lot of how their watches are. I mean, a lot of them don't have any crown guards, so that's I'd say most of them don't, but I like that. I think that's cool. The winding action on this 8L35. Listen, you can barely hear it. It's so nice. This is a good movement. It's like a Grand Seiko movement. It's very nice. This is a good watch. The only thing that bothers me about it is the monoblock case. You know, you can't take the case back off. You can't look at the movement. If you had to have it serviced or something done to it, you got to send it to Seiko no matter what, I would think. Everything comes out through the front. This here, Breitling 2824, anyone could service it. Easy to, you know, just take the case back off. And you know what, their case back work, I mean, everything Breitling does, I think, is top notch, except for their brushing. That's the only thing that bothers me. I'm sorry, it just is. But I think they've done a great job with this watch. They always do. Breitling is a good watch manufacturer. They produce high quality watches, very well made. But I just think this Seiko kind of beats it out. You've got a better movement in it. You know, thick as hell. But this is all in-house. This Seiko is all in-house. So if you've got that watch snob in you, this is all in-house right here. That's respectable. This Breitling is not. Some of it is. I think they make their own bracelets. I don't think they make their own cases. They don't make their own movements. They do heavily modify them. I'm sure they make their dials and stuff. But Seiko makes everything on this. They make it all. So, anyway, let me put it on the wrist. Oh, you know what? Let's do a Lume shot. I want to do the Lume shot. That was the main focus of this video. And then what we'll do is we'll put it on the wrist. And this Breitling screams. It's got great lume. It's right up there with the Seiko. That's why I think this is a real good comparison. Okay, let's turn the lights out here. All right. So, there's the Seiko on the left and the Breitling on the right. See that? See how bright that is? That Breitling is probably better, or damn close. It's really hard to tell, but it's damn close. So these are very comparable when it comes to the lume. I love lume. I gotta have lume, and this is this is great lume here. Super lume. Super Luminova, Seiko Lumibright. So let's get it on the wrist. Take off my black bay. So the Seiko is a 44 millimeter, but it does not seem to wear like a 44 millimeter. Okay, it's tall. It's super tall. And I'll be honest, I had the Tudor Black Bay 41 for, I've had like 3 of them. And that's a tall ass watch, but this is taller. But what makes this different is the way that it slopes down in the mid case there. You see that? It just wears, the way they build their cases and polish them, it's like an optical illusion. It just wears totally different. It looks totally different. This is a thick watch, but it doesn't look that thick on the wrist. It really doesn't. I mean, look, when I have my wrist up like that, it's like it hides the other half and it looks thin. See that? So Seiko, their design, they really know what they're doing. They're top notch for sure. They make some beautiful watches. This one is probably their best dive watch in my opinion. I think this is better than the Grand Seiko Diver. I really do. I think this is way better look. And of course, sapphire crystal on this model. And the Breitling has a sapphire crystal as well. This one has a ceramic insert. The Breitling doesn't. It has like a rubber insert. But and this clasp really, I like that. You can put it on like that and just adjust it in. See that? Real easy. So let's take this off. And let's do the Breitling on the wrist real quick. And then we're going to close. So here's the Breitling. And it's going to wear better because it's thinner. But I'll be honest, this is a 42. This seems bigger to me than that 44. The side profile, the way it's just a flat, plank down the side, this just to me, it wears bigger. And these big horned lugs coming down like this, it just looks bigger to me. It looks way bigger. It really does. So I think this Seiko wears way better. I'm not focusing anymore. there we go. I think it wears way better than the Breitling does. I think in a lot of ways it's just a better watch. I think Breitling's great, great brand heritage, everything, but both these watches have great brand heritage. I just think for the money you're spending, I don't know what retail is on these Seikos, but I think you can pick them up for, $2,700, $2,800, right around there. That might even be their retail. The Breitling is like $3,950, okay? Which you can pick them up for about $2,500 or so, used or even gray market, which I got this gray market. This wasn't. This is from the an authorized dealer. What is it? Lume Watches, I think, is where this came from. But you could just tell, I think the Seiko kind of takes it in the design and everything else, but this Breitling is no slouch. It's a great watch. I own both, so I can kind of rag on either one. Anyway, there you have it, guys. Comparison between the Seiko Marine Master 300 and the Breitling Super Ocean 42. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.